Here we go. So I have no idea how to use this. So we'll see what happens. If anybody comes in and asks anything, it'll be nice. If not, I'll just delete it. So it is what it is. Oh, there's ads. So like if I turn off monetization, it won't give you guys ads, I guess. I guess. So I gotta sign into chat. Oh, who's here? We got people here. I'm answering any questions y'all got, man, about manifestation, money, spirituality, income, business, offers, anything. Um, that's what I'm doing currently. But I don't know if I can see the chat. This is my very first time doing this, so I don't really. Oh, wow, Guan, that's what Col. Okay, I can see the chat now. What's up, Colvin? Just here, man. Trying this streaming thing. I don't know if anybody's gonna show up, but it is, well, somebody has shown up. You've shown up. Um, but basically, what I'm doing here is demonstrating what I talked about um in my three planes of money video, where basically I say do what you would do as if you had what you wanted to have. So let's say my channel had, I don't know, 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers. I would be going live. So I got to go live now with the 5,000 I have. So what's up with you? Any questions? Because if it's just you, there's a one-on-one conversation, which I charge a lot of people a lot of money for. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it around on my channel, if I'm gonna do whatever, but this is my first time doing this. So, yeah, chat rate. You're here, manifesting bliss. What's up? How are you doing? You got any questions? Anything that you're struggling with, manifestation wise, particularly in terms of money? I help people make money. That's really what one of my top values is: business, relationships, and teaching. But manifestation, spirituality in general, I'm answering questions. Decided to go live. It's the first time I'm doing this. So, yeah. But I uploaded a video today regarding, what was it about again? I make so many videos I don't even remember what it was about. It's it's about the AAA manifestation method. That is acknowledge, alchemize, and ascend. And basically that is acknowledging what your emotion is. And I don't mean acknowledge and like I'm angry, so I'm angry. No, like your emotion has a language. Your emotion is trying to teach you something. It's trying to tell you something. So like anger, for instance, people might just think, "Oh, they're angry. I'm angry." By the way, can you guys hear me? I might just be talking into nothingness. If y'all can't hear me, shit. Um, Anger is not necessarily just like, oh, you're upset about something. It's telling you what your boundaries are, you know? I'm stuck on the physical plane. In your course, do you show a way to make income? Yes, that is what I teach people. I teach people how to make money um, via their mind, right? Because you are going to be paid in accordance with your creativity. So thanks, Kimberly, for letting me know we could y'all can hear it. So you're gonna be paid in accordance with your creativity. You're gonna be paid in accordance with your mind. So if you use your labor, particularly in the physical plane, if you use your labor, you're going to make less money. There's going to be a cap on the amount of money that you can make through your labor because you only have one body. It needs to rest, and you only have so much time, right? If you're utilizing your mind, information and skills you already have in your head and your decision making capability, you're going to make more money. This is why a CEO is paid so much money, because the CEO is paid for their decision making ability. The CEO is paid for their ability to think. The CEO or other people with higher positions in the company are paid for their creative ability. So in order to make more money, you must create things out of your mind. A lot of people think that money is 100% logic based. It's zeros and ones and income and all this stuff. Money is a form of energy. We have always had energy. Currency has always existed. We may have traded grapes or something before, and that was currency. And we have silver and gold, and now it's all digital. It's literally in the unseen. It is literally energy. So you actually need to tap into the unseen in order to make more money. So what I do basically is teach people, if you have a skill or knowledge that you can teach, I I show you how to monetize that. I show you how to sell your knowledge, essentially, via courses, programs, whatever it is. But that's what I teach people how to do. And I aim to teach them to close $1,000 to $5,000 sales. Some people do more. Some people can close $10,000 sales. We have one member, he manages his mom, who's a life coach, and she'll close packages for companies that are over 10, 20 grand. So that's what I teach. Also, be aware of your language, Colvin, because you said you're stuck on the physical plane. That's a belief. Okay, so be very aware of how you speak, right? You don't have to believe you're stuck on the physical plane. You can shift your belief. You can believe that you can manifest from the mental plane, that you can see where you want to be and connect to that energetically with charged belief, and you draw it into the physical realm. So shifting your beliefs and shifting your language is very important, because language is how everything begins. I'm currently in Guatemala to focus on my business. I created a product, juicing Oracle deck, 80 juice. Wow, that's very cool. What's the best way to take advantage of Black Friday? Depends. You come up with an offer, right? A lot of people do Black Friday stuff. They do discounts, right? Sure, you might be able to. First of all, I think that's a very cool product. It's an Oracle deck and it has juicing recipes. That is honestly really cool. So each card has a recipe on it, basically, and it teaches them 80 different juicing recipes. That's sick. That's amazing. Honestly, um, very cool. So a lot of people, if you've sold these already, it depends, man. Do you have an email list? How do you get to people? How do you get traffic? How do you let people know about it? I would need a little more info, but Black Friday people usually do discounts, or you come up with an offer, you bundle something together and you say, this is my Black Friday bundle, right? And maybe you get some extra juice recipes on top of the tarot deck, right? The Oracle deck, sorry. So it all depends, right? It's just about coming up with an offer. You either reduce the price or you include more things, you know? What if you limit the amount of Black Friday offers and people get a one-on-one call with you where you do an oracle reading with them and you determine what juices that they should utilize based upon that oracle reading? People will pay for that because it's from you and you made the deck. So, that's one idea. But normally with these type of things, it's either slight price reduction or bundle and offer, put together some more components. That way you can make it more expensive, right? If you limit it on Black Friday, because what a lot of people try and do is they try and go for mass volume. They're like, I want to sell more, 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 more. If you limit the amount that you give, it ups the price. So let's say I only got 10 of these decks to sell for Black Friday that come with this particular extra thing. Sure, you can buy the deck for Black Friday at a discount, but um yeah, if I include a limited amount of conversations with me, now the price is up. I'm not sure how much your deck costs, but now you can add money to that, right? Shouldn't take up too much of your time. You just limit it to the amount that you can handle. So, yeah. hmm But honestly, I think it's a really, really cool product. I never heard of something like that. That is really, really cool. Lately, I've been hearing some cool products lately. I saw something yesterday. This guy sells something particularly for men who are under 5'10" to help them. in dating. So he calls it the short kings offer. I was like, hold on. That's amazing. So $44 a deck. Okay, that's a good price point. I think if you limit it and include the reading with you, you could jump that at least $100. More than that, you might be able to do 200. You get like one more inclusion in there. They get the deck, they call with you, one more inclusion, $200, 10 people, 2 grand on Black Friday, plus the decks that you're gonna sell. Now, this depends on other this depends on other factors too, right? Like I'm not sure how you get traffic. I'm not sure what your customer base is like, your email list, et cetera, et cetera. But it doesn't hurt to try. Listen, I'll tell you this, because I was talking to a member the other day, and he's a member in the next realm, and he's relatively new to the whole game of like selling things online. And he's like, yo, like I don't want to sell anything until I have like this big following or whatever. And I'm like, don't do that. Sell from the start because you never know who's listening. I'm gonna run ads. Okay, so then you gotta do that quick. Yep, you gotta do that quick. If it makes sense monetary wise to run ads, boom. But shoot, the ads targeted well, that thing's gonna sell. I think that's a sick offer. Honestly, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. That's the reason I was compelled to come on this live to hear a very interesting product like that. That is very cool product. But I was talking to this member in the next realm. He's relatively new to the whole online thing, and he's making content and stuff like that on YouTube. But he has under 100 subscribers, so he doesn't want to sell anything because he doesn't think anyone was going to buy. I said, look, man, sell from the start. Sell from the start. Have something to sell from the start, no matter what your following size is, because you don't know who's watching. There's somebody who joined the next room when I had less than 200 subscribers simply because he liked how consistently I uploaded. He said, "Yo, you put out 30 videos in 30 days. There's something you know that I don't know, so I should come listen to you." You never know who's listening. You never know who's watching. So always sell from the start for anybody who's in here hearing that. Anybody else got questions? Kimberly, are you still here? What are you up to? You see what I like about this? Because due to the size of my channel, this is a little smaller, which means a little more intimate, which means I can give more information, more game to the people on the live. And I think Colvin was the first one to pop in, but I was saying I'm demonstrating what I talk about in my 3 Planes of Money video. You need to do what you would do as if you had what you desired to have. So me at 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 subscribers, I would live stream. So why don't I live stream now? You know, still here, just listening to the gems. Well, thank you. Yeah. So appreciate your advice. That was amazing. Yeah, like I said, very cool offer. Honestly, that's why I popped into the to live to hear something cool like that. My wife would probably be interested in that, to be honest, because she loves Oracle decks and tarot decks and all that stuff. There was a point in her life where like every week she was buying some sort of deck. I'm like, you think this is Pokemon cards? Like, what are you doing? Are you competing? Like, she was buying decks all the time. But it's very cool. Very, very cool. Very cool. Anybody else, or is it? It says I've been live for 3 minutes. It feels longer than that. Is there a powerful mantra you suggest to embed in your subconscious? It depends. Um, that's a nuanced question. It depends on what you're aspiring for, right? What what you usually want to do is tell tell yourself things that are going to empower you, right? Believe in things that are going to empower you. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I have particular mantras, but what I do have is something I read every morning. It is a form of affirmations. I read it every morning, but I don't say it out loud. I read it in my mind because hold on, all this iPad and ting is making noise. Um, I read it in my mind because if you watch my one of my recent videos, why no one you know supports you. No, was that the one? Was that it? No, it was another one. But whatever. I talk about sub vocalization in it, and what sub vocalization is when you read in your head, your vocal cords actually move. So you're actually saying the things that you read, which is a very sneaky thing that a lot of people don't know. So they read all these things online and it messes with their head and messes with their manifestations because they're actually saying it. And spoken word is physically manifested frequency. So I say that to say I have a list of about 20 things that I say in my head, and they are I am statements or I have statements. And I say them in the morning, right when I wake up, because the mind is most susceptible to influence at that time. So that's a form of mantra for me. I do it right when I wake up and I do it right before I go to bed because your mind is most suggestive in just waking up and when you're sleep deprived. So I once worked with a hypnotist, phenomenal teacher. Worked with a hypnotist, and I know some things about hypnosis. And he used to make sure everyone was sleep deprived before he would start working. And the things he would teach us would allow us to like empower ourselves and go get things done. So that's something you can try. Write down 10 to 20 things. It helps if you write them because that triggers things in the mind. Helps if you write them down. Say them in the morning. Same in the morning. It's also important. Your mornings are also important. Guard your mornings because um once again your mind is most susceptible at that time, but also you've just come from sleep. Sleep is what I like to call the void state. Okay? When you are maneuvering in the mental plane, you are looking inward. All right? And ultimately, you kind of want your senses to shut off. This is a physics concept where it's called superposition. Sorry, I'm kind of getting all over the place. I hope you're paying attention, but it's called superposition. Watch a show on Amazon Prime called Dark Matter to understand this. We have parallel universes, right? And a whole bunch of things going on at the same time. There's a version of you who does exactly what you want to do, has exactly what you want to have. They're just in a different reality, right? When you go into the mental plane, you tap into one of those realities. It's just a matter of pulling it into physical reality. Now, when you um understand what superposition is, which is a physics concept, it's basically shutting off all your senses and shutting down your prefrontal cortex, and it allows you to access, the theory is that it allows you to access all these other realities, right? So if you watch that show Dark Matter, it's kind of talking about this sort of thing. But sleep is one of the closest things you have to that. That's why someone like Einstein is, if he had a problem, he said he'd take a nap on it. He'd sleep and his mind would figure out the problem because he's actually accessing in a different reality, or at least that's the theory, right? So when you are just waking up, you are coming out of a state that is very close to that state of different realities. So guard your morning because it is a very influential time. If you got to wake up earlier to guard your morning because it's very influential. But yes, read affirmations in the morning and well sleep deprived in the night. Okay, Calvin said, "What's your morning routine in regards to manifestation?" I just told you. I just told you. I don't have all kind of stuff that I do, all kind of super meditations and all that type of thing. I just read read those affirmations basically right when I wake up. The thing is, anything will work for you though. Anything will work. It's a matter of if you believe it works. If you have emotional conviction in the belief that it works, then it works. That's the interesting thing about manifestation and these sorts of things is that it's all about emotionally charged belief. I'd like to make a sale for my educational consulting business this week. What would be some suggestions or ways I can do this? Well, I'd probably need some more info, but I was telling Manifesting Bliss, since Black Friday is coming up, it's either you do a discount. If you have a consulting service, I assume that you have different packages of things and different things that you offer people. Um, you can do a discount and you might remove one or two things on that discount so it makes sense. Or you bundle together an offer, limit the amount of spots that are available for it. Let's say you got 10 spots that comes with certain extra additions, And if they were to normally buy those editions, it would be a far higher price and then sell that for a cheaper price. Boom. If you limit it, right? Black Friday is already timed. Black Friday is already timed, right? So you already have the urgency because urgency makes people buy. So you already have the urgency. Black Friday is timed. Now you just need a reason to make it scarce. Scarcity and urgency makes people buy. So limit the amount of spots you have for this particular deal, right? Yeah, like to make a sale for my educational consulting business. Or have you not made any sales yet? Did you just start the consulting business? I should ask that. Yeah. What business did you have to make your first million? It was a mixture of things. I've talked about this in a video on my channel, but at first it was a mixture between the music business. I worked as a manager in the online adult entertainment business and relationship consulting and in business consulting. So a lot of people judge me because I was a manager in basically the adult entertainment industry, and a lot of people judge me for that. But I got into that out of desperation, to be honest with you. And I talk about this in a couple of my videos, but I'm actually incredibly grateful that I was involved in managing in that business because it taught me so much about business. It taught me a lot, but I always knew that I didn't want to stay there. So it was a stepping stone out of, if you know my story, just go on my channel. It's one of my first videos. You know my story. Um, it was, yeah, but it taught me a shit ton about business. And then I'm like, but wait, I can transfer these skills. So other people started asking me information about business and information about this and that because they saw how my life was changing. So um, I started getting like consulting stuff. And at first it was free. I was just saying, hey, do this, do that, do that, do this. But then I realized I can help people with business. I'm answering the same questions all the time. So I started consulting with people in different online networks that I was within. So this is why I talk a lot about networking online because it's how I changed my life, right? I'll give you a book recommendation in a bit, Ruben, and I'll get back to you steps to success. So, yeah, this is why I recommend joining as much masterminds as you possibly can. Join mine, join theirs, join this person, that person, that person, that person, because you have no idea who you can help and they will pay you too, right? So I started helping people in these different online communities because I wasn't promoting online. No one knew who I was. And eventually I got to a point where this guy told me I taught him a staffing solution that I had for online virtual assistants. I taught him a staffing solution. And he was like, hey, man, I know like 30 people that need this. And I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, how much would you charge for this? I said, 2,000 each. And I made over 60K in a week. And from there, it just changed everything. And I just started consulting a lot more, um, slowly, like scaled down the adult entertainment stuff. And now I do this. So that's that. Love your videos, Glowstar said. Thank you. Okay, yep, just started. We do tutoring, test prep, language learning, and job and entrepreneurship development and homeschool instruction. And how do you get clients? Steps to success. How do you get people? How do you get this in front of people? In college, so mastermind a bit is out of range right now. Look, man, if you're in college, do your best to build up your skills. Build up your skills like crazy because you'll be able to, not only will you be able to make money from them, you'll be able to teach them later. And when you can teach them is when you get the big money. You're in college, right? You probably spent a lot of money on college. Why? Because they're teaching you. They are using, I talked about this earlier, but they are using their minds to teach you. And they can charge you whatever they want to charge you for that, right? So if you're in college, build up your skills, learn about as much things as you can. This is what I did in college, right? When I was in university, which was a big, okay, the program I was in, honestly, in university, it was a big waste of time for me. I only learned one thing that I ended up using later on in the music business. But network with people in university because you never know where anyone's going to be. Make friends, build up your skills. So when I was in university, I was building up skills around music, around sound engineering, around networking, around video editing, right? Around this and that, building up tons of skills. And what you do is you skill stack. You stack up your skills. And the more skills you stack, the more unique and individual you become. So let me give Jay-Z for an example. Jay-Z originally came from hustling in the street, right? Those skills gave him the skills to enter the music industry and hustle in the music industry. He was also talented to be able to rap and do all that stuff. He obviously had networking skills. He got with Dame Dash and he got with Biggs. He had a team, a crew, right? So, um, so then he also had leadership skills. Eventually, he came to be CEO of Def Jam and a good talent manager. And he stacked skills, stacked skills, stacked skills, stacked skills. Now he's a completely uniquely qualified individual who can charge a lot of money for anything because there's no one else on the planet like him. So with me, with my clients, there's a lot I can teach them, right? From one, just like content creation, offer creation, like learning how to sell something to somebody, speaking, influence, right? Video editing, email automation, all of sorts of things because I've stacked skills over time and I stacked them when I was young. So if you're in college, you're lucky. Stack up your skills and they will make you money later on. Plus, if you're developing a skill, you can get paid for it. I'm not sure what you're in college for, but learn some skills online and you'll get paid for them. Okay, so steps to success said, book, oh wait, you just started. Ruben said book recommendations, business and spirituality wise. Spiritually, this is really the number one book you need, The Kabbalion. And then watch my Kabbalion Wealth series, 7 videos. It'll teach you exactly how the Kabbalion works. It'll teach you about universal law, the laws of the universe, right? So that's what you need. Business, you know what's crazy? I haven't read much particularly dedicated business books. I've learned business from mentors and observing people. But if I was to recommend one book, probably be $100 million Offers by Alex Hormozy. That'll teach you how to create something that people want to buy. Okay, so tutoring, test prep, that's what Steps to Success does. Facebook, Instagram, word of mouth, and our partnership with 2 other educational companies. Our Google business page, we were recently featured on local radio station also. Well, this is good. So you're getting traffic, right? So you're getting traffic, Steps to Success, but you guys haven't made it for a sale. What's your price point? There must be a reason, like you're not getting qualified people to you or something if you haven't made a sale yet. It might be you're talking to the wrong people at the wrong price point. Because if you actually have Facebook traffic, Instagram traffic, word of mouth, and a partnership with 2 other educational companies, if people are coming to you, then you have a sales process problem. So it's either the wrong people are coming or it costs too much. Or it's not even cost too much. There's a discrepancy between who's arriving and what the price is. Possibly. I started a clothing brand and I haven't had any sales. It's called Glow Star brand for global superstars. People complaining about the price. Okay. My price is fair. Uh, my price is fair based on the energy behind the brand and process I had to go through to receive the idea, act on it. My intuition is telling me to keep my price. The people are complaining aren't my target audience. So if the people who are complaining aren't your target audience, you have to find how to speak to the right people. You also have to, I'm not sure what your price point is, but if it's a luxury price point, there's things that you're going to need to do to create exclusivity around that brand and determine what it represents, right? So you would have to look into how people make things exclusive. Like you limit the amount of clothes that you're going to sell. People don't like to do this. They don't like to limit things because they think they need more and more and more and more sales. If you limit things, you inherently increase the value, right? This is why I said say time is more valuable than money, because time is a finite resource and money is an infinite resource. Money is everywhere. They print it out of the sky forever. Something that's infinite can't be more valuable than something finite in the physical realm. So you might just have to limit um, the amount that you're selling. You only have this much. If it's luxury price pointed, there's a brand thing that needs to happen there so that people understand it's luxury and then get the right people to it. You know, um, so he said it's frustrating. Fifth Cabellion video. You and Nero are the best teachers for real. Yeah, man. Shout out to Nero. To be honest with you guys, um, when I saw Nero's channel and how he popped off, it very much did inspire me. So I do fuck with Nero. It very much did inspire me because I was like, wait, I know this shit too. I know this. I didn't know that this could, I didn't know that that so many people were interested in this stuff. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, fuck, I could talk about this too. But I'm more business oriented. Like I'm very much about helping people with business and helping people get money. I think Nero's more like general manifestation, manifest a car, manifest money, manifest a girlfriend, which is great. But I'm very much targeted on like making money in business, even though I do, can help people with other things. But yeah, shout out to Nero, man. He's dope and he's doing good things. Um, he's for real. Were you manifesting during the time of making your 60K in a week? You're always manifesting. You're always manifesting. Okay. This current situation right now has been manifested. This was an idea in my mind. 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, if I have 100,000 or 200,000 subscribers, what would I do? I would go live. I understand how manifestation works. Why haven't I gone live yet? I need to go live. Boom. There was an idea in my head, and now it's here, right? When it comes to that 60K week, I know there is a version of me who could make 60K in a week. So all I had to do was tap into that knowing and tap into that self-belief. And eventually that popped into my reality when it was supposed to. What a lot of people, but also I was good with it and good and good without it. I was good whether I had a 60K week or didn't have a 60K week. And that's what makes it happen because of the law of polarity and rhythm. If you are too polarized on an outcome, you won't get it. What do I mean by this? If you desperately, 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 desperately want something to happen, good luck. Good luck. Because what you desperately want will run away from you, like seduction. I mean, there's men and women in this chat, right? Ladies, a guy is desperate, desperate, desperate to talk to you. Please talk to me. Pick up my phone call. Blah, 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 please. You don't want to talk to him. Your desired reality is the same way. You need to have with or without you energy. It's just like sales. So I was fine. Let's say he told me I have 30 people interested in this. I said, okay, I told him 2K per person. I was fine whether they said yes or whether they said no. I would have been fine. So you're always manifesting. You're always manifesting. Think about the just your life. It's always been an idea in your head. If you went to go buy a shirt, you had an idea to go buy the shirt and you went and bought it, right? Everything starts in the mind. So, yeah. Yes, we're getting caregivers who are reaching out that I think can't afford our services. Exactly. That's the problem. You got to figure out how to target differently. It may be a form of marketing issue. Sorry. Sorry. It may be a marketing issue. It may be a messaging issue that you're not reaching people who can afford you if your price point is a certain thing, right? And then look at the demographic of what that is, right? Are you trying to tutor kids who are in private school? You tutor the private school kids, they got money to afford you. If you're targeting everyone, most people don't got thousands of dollars to pay for tutoring and education, right? So it's a targeting issue. I talk about this in the next realm. Like when you come up with a product, a lot of people they just consider like I want to sell to everyone, right? I want to sell to everyone, whoever buys. But that doesn't work. You need to be broad with content. So like broad with your content in terms of like, let's say you're on YouTube, broad with content, niche with your offer. So if you're broad with I don't know if you guys are on YouTube. It sounds like this is more an offer that you would run Facebook and Instagram ads and stuff for, which you can target, right? Um, but let's say you have a YouTube channel or something. Go broad with your content, similar to how Nero goes. Like Nero's broad with his content of manifestation, but his offer is only for entrepreneurs making a certain amount of money. Me, I am relatively broad with my content as well, but my offer is only for people who want to make education-based products online, right? So, um, fitting if you're getting carriers or supposed to put X in one basket. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'm still here. Got things going on, you know, things are always going on. Well, that's what I did with the brand. I'd like the feedback on the perception of my website. Oh, that's what I did with the brand. Hey man, you're doing the right things then. All you're dealing with then is probably an emotional charge that you need to negate. If you did what I told you and limited things, um, there's probably an emotional charge in sorry guys. I got an important individual to it. Okay, yeah, what you're probably dealing with is an emotional charge in relation to it. Like you desperately, desperately, badly want it to work, you know? So if you're doing what I said, also you need to have patience. And what I mean by patience, because a lot of people say that as a cop out. Patience is knowing that it will happen. And you sound like you do because you like, I think my price point's fair, right? So knowing that it will happen and believing that it will happen is what allows it to occur. But everything is divine and right on time. For instance, for me, I uploaded 140 YouTube videos before anyone saw who I was. I had less than 1,000 subscribers. I uploaded over 140 videos. I deleted some of them, right? But actually, I deleted most of them and then went with this, what I'm talking about now, and it popped off my channel. But if I wasn't willing to just continue to push through and know that it would happen because everything is divine and right on time, as long as you stick with it, it will occur. So I think you probably have an emotional charge related to it, and we need to negate that and see the benefits and drawbacks of what would happen if your brand's incredibly successful or your brand, what would occur positively and negatively if that brand was incredibly successful, right? Yeah. Yo, what's up, Javon? Shout out to Javon. Y'all go check his channel, right? He's amazing. Yep. Somebody asked about the law of consumption. So basically, it's the concept that everything is like consumed, transformed, etc., which is true. I'm not sure what my thoughts on the law of consumption are, but it's true. Everything is transformed. For instance, I have mental thoughts right now, and those are transformed into speech, and those are transferred to you, and you consume it. It's actually it kind of ties into gender as well, right? So I have these mental thoughts. I speak, they get projected into the microphone. That microphone is projected into this stream. That stream is projected to you. You consume it. It transforms your mind. Now you think differently. Now you talk, you say different things. Your mind's been transformed. So it's that flow of things. It is a real thing. Everything is constantly being consumed and constantly changing, right? How do I keep my low vibration thoughts from having more emotion than my desired reality? You have to alchemize them. I made a video about this today. So you have to understand what the emotion's actually telling you. So let's say you have an emotion of anger. right? You're angry about something. Well, anger is actually trying to demonstrate what your boundaries are. So if you're angry about something, you have to set boundaries around that thing. And you can also be angry at your own self-perception and things like this. So I would suggest watching the video that I just released today. You have to alchemize the emotion. Here's the thing about emotions and low vibration thoughts, etc. Every emotion is a source of fuel. Every emotion is a source of energy. You have infinite energy as a human being because you have emotions, infinite energy. And I know science will tell you you have limited willpower and willpower has limits and you only have so much energy. It's not true because you have emotion. All you have to do is alchemize it. And a lot of people will try to have you negate what they consider negative emotions. All it is energy. And if you believe this and transfer it, you can use it. So if I am upset, I'll just alchemize it towards my desired reality. I'll just go to the gym and get more buff, or I'll make new content, or I'll help my clients. You know what I'm saying? I just alchemize it because I've been given energy. And a lot of spiritual practices, they try to have you negate the negative side so much, but you can use both. You can use both. So don't look at it as you have a belief that your emotions, low vibrating emotions are pulling you down. But you can say I can use them to pull me up. You can change that narrative. That doesn't mean you stay there, but you will eventually alchemize it and ascend it. So I made a video about this today. Okay, so it's audience. Charge a bit more. Yeah, lower from having more rushing. And here's the thing. It's not about how I explain this. Like you're living in a lower vibration because you believe it. Have you guys seen the movie Surf's Up? It's a kids movie, okay? It's a kids movie, Surf's Up. And there's this character, his name is Chicken Joe, okay? And there's a part in the movie where these penguins, okay? Because it's basically the movie is about a penguin who surfs, right? But these penguins who like live in the forest or something, they capture this chicken and they're gonna cook him, right? But Chicken Joe, he's there in their cauldron and he's like, huh, you know, I found this penguin tribe and they made me their king. They even put me in a hot tub and they started feeding me. Right? So they're giving him corn to try and fatten him up and stuff. And he's like, they started feeding me. And yeah, man, it was just the most amazing experience. It was so relaxing, but I had to remember my quest. So I just got up and got out of there. Right? Cody. Yeah, that's his yeah, Cody is in freaking Surf's Up. Watch that movie and watch Chicken Joe, and you will understand how to alchemize negative emotion. Because he could have easily been in that situation, like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. They're gonna cook me. He sat there and he's like, they made me their king, and I'm in a hot tub. But he didn't stay there. He's like, I remembered my quest, and I had to continue on. And I mean, I'm gonna spoil it a bit for you guys, but it's important for for me to tell you this to understand this. At the end of the movie, Chicken Joe wins the championship, and he doesn't even know that he won. Why? Because he was good with it and he was good without it. He was good whether he won or not. So when you have negative emotions in relation to something, you are charged on something. You are polarized about something. You're only seeing the negative side of a situation and not the positive side of a situation. They'll always be even. Once you line them up, right? You will cancel out the charge and you will rise. It's called enlightenment. That's enlightenment. And it is called accountability. Your ability to take account of the situation. So a lot of people are dealing with negative problems, negativity. Let me tell you something. I was broke, very, very broke for a long time, sleeping on the basement floor of my wife's parents' house. No money. Okay. I could barely make, I was lucky, shoot, you guys, American money. So I'm not sure if you guys are from America, but 20K Canadian, which is about $13,000 American. I was lucky to make a year. Okay? A year. I know what it's like to be low like that. But I understand that the universe is divinely rigged in my favor, and I believe it. If you believe the universe is rigged in your favor, then it is. So I knew that situation down there when I was on the basement floor, when I was broke. I knew all it was part of my story to be inspiring to other people later on. Whatever you're dealing with now that has you in a low emotion, all it is designed to do is for you to overcome it and be an inspiration to people later on in your life when you've won that situation. You must believe that the universe is rigged in your favor, and then it will be. Whoa. Okay. Stream is looking crispy, Javon said. How, LOL, what would be your suggestion of how to get in front of the right audience? That's a big question. It all comes down to marketing. I'd have to see the offer. I do know it's going to hit because I'm a music artist. I just like your feedback based on your awareness. That's all. Yeah. I come from the music business, so that's another thing too. If it is it attached to your personal brand as an artist, that changes the dynamic. That changes the dynamic because if it's attached to your personal brand as an artist, it depends on your fans. It depends on your popularity. It depends on your fans. Versus if it's a clothing brand that's just like cool clothes, now you have a different conversation. If it's based on your artistry, that's a totally different thing. Seth, could you please explain the emotional charge a bit more for me? Yes. So I spoke about this in today's video as well that I uploaded. First, what you need to do. Okay, first let me explain this. No question around your greed and just an energy that builds. Whoa, we're getting questions, man. I'm actually amazed. Well, I'm not amazed. This would happen. I appreciate you guys hopping on this. So what you have to understand is that every emotionally charged belief is creating your reality. If you have an emotion to something and it's attached to a belief, it will create your reality. So let's say you are angry about some particular thing. I don't know, you're angry about something you saw on the internet, right? Let's say you're angry about the election. All right, whatever. Let's say you're angry about the election. Now you have an emotionally charged belief about the election. So what's going to happen? That tells the universe, oh, I have an emotionally charged belief here. That means this person must want more of this. And then you wonder why you keep seeing things on the internet about the election and why you keep seeing things to bother you about it and why you keep seeing it and keep seeing it and keep seeing it. Because you've told the universe to amplify this particular thing for you. So that's emotional charge. And then the way you'll know if you're charged on something, belief wise, is you defend it. You'll defend it. Somebody will tell you something and you'll be like, no, that's not true. Right? So if somebody was to tell me, yo, Seth, you're a white guy, I would tell them, no, I'm obviously Chinese. No. No, I'd be like, well, I'm black. Like, are you crazy? Like, what's going on here? Right? I have the belief that I'm black, so I will defend it. And that's how you know you're emotionally charged on something, right? Now, the key is to get emotionally charged on better emotions, like gratitude or happiness, for instance, right? So what you would do is access the mental plane and meditate, right? And feel gratitude for the version of yourself who has what you want to accomplish, who has the things you desire, right? Feel gratitude for that because you can only be grateful for what you have. But if you're grateful for what you have in imagination, then it will import into physical reality. So, yeah, the key is to get charged on better emotions than ones that piss you off and bother you and give you trouble. You know, I hope that helps. I mean, that may have been a little wordy, but maybe that helps, hopefully. But basically, every emotion attached to a belief manifests something. So, because some things you don't have any emotion about. And if you really don't have emotion about them, you've ascended them, you've transcended them. So, for instance, a kid, right? A child deals with these big polarized swings because they don't understand things. They haven't been enlightened on certain things yet. So let's say a child's hungry at this big emotional swing, right? They got this big emotional swing. They're crying like, "Oh God, I'm hungry," right? They're crying, upset. They're not even talking yet. Let's say they're not even talking, but they're upset because they're hungry and they have this huge swing. And then they eat, and wow, they're happy. And then they're hungry again, crying, upset, bang, bang, bang. They're hungry because they have not realized yet that it is the hunger that makes them upset. They haven't realized this yet. Once they get older and realize it's the hunger that makes them upset, they negate those charges. Now they no longer get super upset when they're hungry, and they're more chill. They're more in homeostasis. They have elevated that level of polarity and rhythm, because that's what polarity does to you, and that's what emotional charge does to you. It creates a rhythm, and the rhythm creates your frequency back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's why you feel like you're in a loop, because you haven't transcended certain charges yet, right? You haven't transcended certain charges yet. Accountability is what helps you transcend the charge. So people don't like when I use this example, but I'm going to fucking use it. So let's say somebody cheats on you, right? Oh, it's the worst ever. Oh my gosh. Oh, this person's evil. They're bad. Oh my gosh. Right? Terrible hurt. They cheated on you, right? But now, moving on, you need to be accountable for the situation. You need to take account of what has happened. Accountability, your ability to account. What you don't understand, since you are polarized on the situation and you only see the bad part, right? You only see the bad part of it. You don't see the good part of it. The good part is you're no longer dealing with somebody who cheats on you. You can find somebody better. You do find somebody better who doesn't do these things to you. And you realize that whole situation was supposed to happen for a reason. And why did they cheat on you? What was it in your character? Why did you choose to pick them? Why did you not pay attention to, or brush off when they lied to you, etc.? So you start to take accountability. And this is how you ascend your charges. Then you no longer feel a way about it. You're actually happy that it happened. You're like, yo, if they never did that, my life wouldn't be where it's at. Wow. Now you have ascended. Now you have elevated. Now you have become more enlightened. Because what you have to understand, we as people are constantly trying to get closer to the all, to God, right? And the all is timeless, spaceless, massless, and chargeless. It is non-judgmental. My polarity video, I talk about this. The reason we live the way we do is because we learned the Bible, right? Adam and Eve take the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And that causes judgment in the mind, and that causes split, 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 split. But if you're trying to get closer to the all energy, to the God energy, to your God power, you need to start canceling those things out. Because the all doesn't judge. It is all things. You understand? So the less judgmental you are about other people, about your own stuff that's happened in your life, the more you will ascend. And it's not easy. It's not necessarily easy, right? Because what happens in life, you're at one level of polarity. Like I said, when you're a kid, when you're a baby, right? And you're crying because you're hungry, and then you stop crying because you got fed. You ascend to another level of polarity and rhythm, and another level of polarity and rhythm, and another level, and another level, and another level. If you had zero polarity and rhythm, you'd be the God energy, and everything you want to manifest would happen instantaneously. So how do you alchemize the energy and greed and lust into energy that builds and compounds into abundance? Alchemize the energy around greed and lust. Well, greed, it depends. Greed is an energy of lack, right? Because you don't have something, you're greedy. So you need to alchemize that greed. What's it really telling you? Greed is it's kind of adjacent with jealousy. And jealousy is the trigger emotion. Jealousy will either descend you or rise you. And the spiritual community doesn't like to talk about jealousy. I talked about this in my video today. Spiritual community doesn't like to talk about jealousy because most people can't alchemize jealousy properly. Here's what happens with jealousy. Jealousy is telling you where you want to be, right? Now, if you don't learn how to turn that jealousy into inspiration, then you will get knocked down. You'll go from jealousy to pride, to anger, to fear, to sadness, to guilt, to shame. Shame is basically lowest vibrating emotion. Now, if you alchemize your jealousy, that greed to inspire you, you'll move up, eventually to gratitude, right? Also, greed can pull you into what I call hermetic narcissism, which means you're trying to get something out of the universe without equivalent exchange. So you'll start scamming people or screwing people over and blah, 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 blah. And you might get away with it for a little while, but the pendulum always swings back. So if you screwed over enough people, you will get hit with problems. Now, it might not be jail, but you could have terrible health, and now you can't enjoy the money. Or something bad just might happen. Now you can't enjoy it, right? So you need to alchemize that greed into inspiration and provide people with fair exchange in the universe. Lust is a different thing. Like your manifestations aren't going to stop if you want to have sex. It's just if that takes over your life, you have an emotionally charged element around lust and it will cause you problems in your life. You know what I'm saying? It'll cause you problems based upon your beliefs as well, but it'll cause you problems if you're constantly chasing after like women, for instance. How are you going to make money? Right? Or you're making a whole bunch of money and then you're chasing after women and then you end up in a bad situation and then you get allegations and problems and court and jail. You have to negate the charge around lust. Why do you have lust? You have to internally look as to why that is and negate the charge. Bro cracked it. That's why I'm not charged about the clothing brand, but I'm charged on the music side of things. And yes, it's the music audience. That's why. Yes, that's why you can't sell it, bro. Or I shouldn't say can't sell it. That's why it's not selling currently, because it's the music audience. And I'll tell you this. Most music people are broke. So if it was detached from your personal brand, so here's what happens. Here's what's going to happen. As you grow as an artist, focus on your music, grow as an artist, people will buy the clothing. The emotional charge conversation is interesting. Too many people are putting their emotional energy into the wrong things that don't matter. Yes, but your emotions are important. Your emotions are important to charge the right beliefs because you need emotional charge behind them. The reason being is that we live in an electromagnetic universe. Okay, we live in an electromagnetic universe. It's not enough to just think. There needs to be an electric charge to your thought because that sends basically an electrically charged current to the spiritual realm, which connects and it says, oh, this is what they want. All right, let's start importing this. But too many people are just told to think. They're just told to think and also not do anything. We live in a physical, mental, spiritual world. Yeah, man. What is the difference between greed, jealousy, and the desire to be wealthy or be with women? Well, greed is jealousy. Wealth, the desire to be wealthy is just abundance. Just abundance. It's fine to desire to be wealthy, you know. But better than desire is to know that you're wealthy, to know that you're abundant. You live in an ever expanding universe. You understand? The universe is constantly growing and constantly expanding, and you are part of the universe, which means you have access to abundance. You are abundant. You are wealthy. You just don't tell that to yourself, but you don't look for the elements of your life where you have wealth. You don't look at the fact that you have a phone to watch this on or a computer to watch this on, and there's millions of people who don't. You have food to eat and a place to live, and there's millions of people who don't. You don't look at the elements of your life where you've already demonstrated that you have wealth and abundance. So that's the difference. Jealousy is an emotion. Wealth is a state. Wealth is a way of being, right? Wealthy people are wealthy because they are abundant, because they are wealthy individuals. I know that's a little hard to understand, but you need to understand that you are abundant. It's your birthright. That's how you import money, to understand that you know this of yourself. And the desire to be wealthier with women. Women's a different thing. Women is it's the women thing is a charged state. It's probably comes from insecurity. Probably comes from some level of insecurity, and you need to fill it with women, you know? So, but that's a different discussion. Like members of the next realm, I go more into depth with that, and we really find out where these things are coming from and find out where these charges are so we can negate them, right? But like I said, it's not a bad thing to want to have, get laid. It's not a bad thing. It's when it starts to take over your life. If it takes over your life, then you're just gonna descend. Here's the thing about okay, here's the deeper thing about lust, right? One is an insecurity vector. Two, you think it's gonna make you happy. It's a polarized state. You think it's gonna make you super happy. You're gonna be super elated off of lust. You're gonna be super elated. But what's gonna happen, right? You end up having this swing of like, oh yeah, I'm super happy, and then oh man, like why didn't I get this chick? I'm annoyed. I'm cheesed. Why did this happen? And then oh yes, I got laid. Huge swing. Whoom. Once again, you're stuck in the rhythm, and you'll stay there if you don't be like, okay, what's the drawbacks of getting laid all the time? Really consider that. Okay, what's the benefits? Okay, now I've weighed them both. These drawbacks are probably preventing me from getting to the next point of my life. So I should probably just chill on that and do something else, and ascend that. So that's that. Whoa, the questions stopped flowing. The questions stopped flowing. Do y'all understand what I'm talking about, or am I talking jargon? Yeah. But yes, remember, you are abundant. Abundance is not something you have, it is something you are, right? It's something you are, and it's your birthright. You were born into an abundant world. You are part of an abundant universe that is ever expanding and multiplying. So you already have it within you. Or did my chat freeze? We understand 100%. Yeah, so Glowstar, I come from the music industry, right? I've been in the music business 10 plus years, probably more than that. And Lakia Johnson, I understand. Perfect. Um, yeah, man. So yeah, I come from the music business, and what you got to understand about the music biz now, it's 100% a personal brand business. So back in the day, listen, there's two ways you're gonna maneuver as an artist. You're either gonna have a lot of money and buy your way in, or you're gonna do the groundwork, put out a lot of content, and network with the right people to increase the visibility of your brand. And then you'll be able to sell other things on the back end of that, because music itself doesn't really make money. Streaming doesn't really make that much money, but your merchandise can make money if it's branded the right way and affiliated with the right things, and you have a luxury element to it. People will pay more money for it as they become more and more fans of you. And the thing with a lot of artists, and mind you, I come from this business, and I've dealt with record labels, I've dealt with people who got signed, I've dealt with tons of people in music industry. A big problem with artists is that a lot of them are too cool to interact on a deeper level with their fans. So like people message you on Instagram and you don't talk to them. Have you sent a voice note to your fans? Somebody who messaged you about your music, did you send them a voice note and thank them for listening to you, and build an email list and let people know when your records are coming out? It's about relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's about relationship. Because if you don't have the money You have to do the groundwork of building the personal brand. You are basically a different form of YouTuber or influencer. You're a different form of that, right? I'm telling you, man, music, I love music. Music is, that's what taught me nearly all these skills. You know what I mean? But it's tough. It's getting tougher and tougher in the music industry. But what you got to remember is that you are a personal brand. You're a personal brand. In present life, to feel and understand abundance in oneself is difficult. It feels difficult because you're not looking for the evidence that you have abundance. This is what happens to people a lot with negative emotion. They only look at what they don't have and they don't look at what they do have, right? They don't look at what they do have. They have this energy of I want this, I want this, I want, but they don't look at what they already have. They're not grateful for what they already have. If you have gratitude, you will get more things, right? She being here in your advice. May I clip it and tag you? Sure. Yeah. Sure. So yeah, they only see the negative side. They don't see the positive side, right? So you basically got to balance them. Once you balance them, you ascend them, essentially, right? I'll give you an example. Um, there was a time last year, actually, around this time last year, November, I couldn't get any money out of the internet. I had this banking problem and it was problematic and I couldn't get any money out of the internet for 5 months. For 5 months, okay? I probably had over 100K trapped in the internet. And I could have been there like, oh my God, I'm not gonna have any money. Oh my goodness, oh Lord, help me, help me. But what did I have to do? Stay calm, stay measured, look around and say, okay, I'm still in my house. I still have food to eat. Still okay. And my previous self prepared for this. I saved some money. So I was okay. And then boom, the 5 months pass, 100K in the bank. Bang. Oh, that was nice. But if I had dwelled on the fact that I couldn't get paid, guess what would have happened? Oh, no, I still wouldn't have got the money. Can you do an expanded series on the Kabbalion and reality transurfing? Possibly. I think, well, in the next realm, we dive a bit more into the Kabbalion with my members. But I think the series I made it pretty solid. Is pretty solid. Yep. So, yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand that they're in situations where they need to look for gratitude, you know. And a lot of spiritual people say this gratitude thing, but they don't understand it. It's being thankful for what you have, and then um if you're thankful for what you have in imagination, it makes it more easily import into your life. That's a secret of the game. Like going into the mental plane and being thankful for like what you're gonna have, like that's the game. It's a bit of game. When you're selfish, it's hard to realize how abundant you are. You have to serve, give, and be grateful for what you do. Stay in the now, be content. Yes. So content, the emotion of content is what maintains your reality because you're okay with it. You're content, right? That's what maintains your reality. It's gratitude that moves it up, right? It's gratitude that moves it up. Uh, can you explain the spiritual plane more? Yeah, the spiritual plane is essentially where everything originates from. That is the plane of creation. That is where everything comes from. You get an idea that pops in your head, it came from the spiritual plane. It's a source of creation. It's God, essentially, right? But it's within you, and you are it as well. As above, so below, spiritual, mental, physical. So, the way I like to explain it, I wish I linked up my iPad to this. Maybe next time I'll do it and I'll draw a diagram. But basically, let's say we have a pyramid, right? Top of that pyramid is basically God, right? Top of that pyramid is God. And everything kind of descends from that one point. And what we're aiming to do is to tap back into that God power at the very top. So the spiritual plane is a plane of creation. What you're doing with the mental plane is the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. So the mental plane is what you use to tap in to the spiritual plane. When you think in your mind, let's say you want to be on a private jet. You think in your mind, envision yourself on the jet. You see what it is. You smell what it is. You touch the leather, right? You hear the glasses of wine clink. You know what I'm saying? You see this. And what happens is that sends a signal to the spiritual plane and you connect to it emotionally. Like, how would you feel if you were in that situation? A lot of the time, people make the mistake of feeling excited. But, like, let's imagine this was your everyday life. Private jets was your everyday life. You would feel content about it because it was your everyday life. So now you tap into that emotion, you sense everything about what's happening, and now you're sending a signal to the spiritual plane. Now you're sending a signal to the spiritual plane and it starts to import down into your reality. So that's kind of how the spiritual plane operates. But what do you do when you need it and you're consistently being in gratitude and nothing still isn't happening? What do you do? So here's what people also fumble with too, is that we do live in a physical plane, right? Physical, mental, spiritual. So you have to look at, so let's say you're doing all this work in a mental plane and you're grateful for things. You have to look at what are you doing in the physical plane. You have to look at what you're doing in the physical plane because it's not enough to just connect to the thought. You have to connect to the version of the person you are who has the reality that you're desiring. And what does that person do and how do they feel? Because you can do and feel them now. Let's say, for instance, the ideal version of you is fit and goes to the gym regularly. Why aren't you doing that? That's going to import that into your life because you're using what I call a bottom-up approach to manifestation. So you have something in the mind, but you're using the physical plane and kind of pushing your way up. And this is where a lot of people have to start, actually, especially if you're kind of in survival mode. If you're in survival mode, you kind of have to do like a push up way. At least that's how I did it, right? I worked a lot, you know what I mean? Made a lot of connections, spent money and whatever, but I worked a lot. So you kind of have to push up. What would that version of you do so that you get out of survival? And when you're out of survival, now you can think and grow rich. Because if you're in survival, you're at one of the lowest vibratory places. So it's not going to be enough to just like think and be grateful because your subconscious is saying we're screwed, we're screwed, we're screwed, we're screwed, we're screwed. You have to fix that first. So you have to think of what can you do in the physical plane to push up, to fix that, right? And sometimes requires some sacrifice. Sometimes you got to do more, you know? Can you talk about how you can use music to manifest and how music is intertwined with fabric of reality? Music, music is the music is the greatest tool of manifestation for me ever. For me personally, as an artist, everything I said in my songs almost 10 years ago, they've all happened. They've all happened now. You know why? Because when you make music, and if you're actually making it from the heart, sorry, when you say those lyrics, they're emotionally charged beliefs. And what did I say about emotionally charged belief? Whatever you're emotionally charged on and believe, whatever the emotionally charged belief is, will import into your life. It's just the time span. People don't understand time span. Divine timing is a thing. You just have to know it's occurring, right? So everything I said in my music occurred. Everything. Literally. From getting my parents out of debt to traveling all over the world to having a network of rich people to making certain levels of money. You know what I'm saying? It all happened because um because music was embedded with emotional charge. That's why if you have creative endeavors, guys, if you have creative endeavors, they'll help you manifest. They will help you manifest. If you write and you're a creative writer, write creatively about what you desire your life to be and know that it'll happen. When I was saying all those lyrics and shit, I was broke. Broke. Okay? And people say, "Oh, you're faking. Fake it till you make it." And people get mad at it. You need to do that. Like, you need to pretend because that is how the mental plane kind of works. You need to be that person. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I may have not been a rich rapper, but I did what rich rappers do, which is what? Record music and talk about what my rich life is. And then it happened. Do you understand? But you're getting all caught up like, oh my gosh, they're gonna say I'm faking and they're gonna say I'm doing all this BS and I'm this and that and that and this. Yeah, but they're broke and you're not. Use your creativity because you're gonna have a lot of emotional charged belief in that. So yeah, said physical reality. Yes, music helps with the bottom up. Listen to artists. Yeah. And that's what I use. That's how I know I'm going to be a superstar. And I am a superstar. Exactly. You have to say this. I am a superstar. When, because like people are odd, right? So when I started making rap music, right? I was about 15. And somebody was like, "You're not a rapper." I'm like, now that I'm older, I'm like, but what determines that? Like, what determines that you're a rapper? Who decides that? Like, do you need to make a certain amount of records? Do you need to put out a certain amount of records? Do you need to dress a certain way? Do you need to speak a certain way? Like, who determines when is it determined that you're a rapper? Let's say you sing R&B music. When is it determined that you're an R&B singer? You understand what I'm saying? People have these weird things that they're like, "Oh, you're not that." That's them trying to pull you into your old frequency or the frequency they know you to be. But who determines when you're a rapper? Who determines when you're an R&B singer? You determine it. I used to tell people, I am an artist. I am a rapper. They assumed in their head, well, you got to be some rich and famous record label signed person. No, you don't. No, you don't. Right? People come up to me, "Yo, Seth, what do you do?" I help people make millions of dollars. With that conviction. Boom. Well, okay. Okay. Right. But I actually have helped people make a lot of money. Right. So you have to believe in yourself, guys. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. And you need that emotionally charged belief. You need to believe in yourself. You need to have conviction. It doesn't matter what's happening right now. It doesn't matter what's happening. You need to know and believe that your life is on a trajectory necessary to win. You need to believe that the universe is rigged in your favor and everything is divine and right on time. If you believe the universe is rigged in your favor, then it is. The universe was rigged in my favor from rapping and being broke and then making R&B music and then getting into and then COVID hitting and me being broke again and then getting into other businesses and whatnot. It was all divine and right on time. It was all universally and divinely rigged in my favor. And the universe is rigged in your favor. You need to believe this. You need to understand when you are in a down position. Okay? You need to understand and believe that this is just a point designed for me to inspire the world when I overcome it. Because if you are pulled back, the only way to go is forward. If you are pulled down, the only way to go is up. Do you understand? The universe is rigged in your favor. If you leave this conversation with one thing, know that the universe is rigged in your favor. Okay. Spiritual equals belief, mental equals thoughts slash emotions, physical equals actions. Yes, that's a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it. Powerful words. Thank you, Javon. Gotta believe the universe is rigged in your favor. That was one of the most important teachings I ever received. And when you believe the universe is rigged in your favor, what happens? Stop worrying. Because worry is once again an emotionally charged belief. You're like, oh, I'm worried. This is going to happen and this bad thing's going to happen. Help me, please. You're worried. So what does the universe do? It gives you more things to worry about. Versus if you understand that the universe is divinely rigged in your favor, you go like, oh, well, this is going to be a cool part of the movie. It's going to be a decent chapter of the movie. Everybody thinks I'm going to fail, but I'm going to win because the universe is rigged in my favor. Right? So that's that. How long have I been doing this? I've been doing this over an hour. How long have we been here? I don't know if the chat has. See, I don't know how to do this. There's this monetization button, but I think it'll put ads in it, and I don't want to put ads in it. I don't know if people can do super chats and shit, but I don't know. But whatever. I'll figure that out after, because I didn't even know we'd get all these questions and all these people talking. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all a lot. Yeah, I got the vision at rock bottom when everything crashed around me. I lost everything and everyone. The pain was crazy. I had to alchemize it. I wanted to end my life, bro, for real. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. You gotta transform these emotions, man. You gotta alchemize these emotions. That is one of the main things. That's why I call it income alchemy, guys. That's why I talk about alchemy so much, changing one thing into another. And you know what taught me this? The music business, making music. So I could feel sad about something, and what would I do? Take that emotion, put it in a song. Now other people listen to that song, they like the song, and I get paid from streaming. I can go perform that and then go get paid. So I've been doing the alchemical process my whole life. That's why my emotions don't like sit in me and mess me up. Because here's the thing about your emotions, they're energy in motion. They're energy in motion, right? Which means they're in movement and they're energy. And these things are maneuvering and occurring in your life. And what you have to understand is that if you have an emotion, you need to do something with it. Whether it's you alchemize it in the mental plane and project it to manifest something, or you take it and literally do something with it. If I was sad, upset, happy, I could go make a record. I've now alchemized that emotion, put it into the world, and it pays me. I feel a way about something. I can go work out, and now I'm stronger. Alchemy. Transformation. You understand? So, I'm gonna go for 10 more minutes, guys. If you got questions, anything. I know some of you are probably shy in here. One or two of you is shy in here and doesn't want to ask nothing, but ask. So, ask. And, yeah, man, leave with that. Understand the universe is rigged in your favor. It always has been. Brought you to this moment right now where you get to learn that the universe is rigged in your favor. So, yeah, this has almost been an hour and a half. Jeez and peas. First live stream, hour and a half. People actually spoke to me. Who would have thought? Whoa, it's amazing. Okay, I don't see anything else popping up. So if that's that, and everybody has learned something today. Oh, well, do you see yourself releasing new music in the future? Possibly. Probably, actually. Probably some R&B stuff. Talk to one of my distributors and probably put out another R&B record. The thing with me for music, it's just like I'll just put it out, right? I'll just put it out. I don't really care to promote it a whole bunch. I don't really care to shoot music videos for it. I'll just put it out because I want to put it out. So I probably will put out some music in the new year, likely. So it's beneficial and informative. Thank you. Best business model. Yeah. So I'll just put the music out, right? This live really answered my deepest questions. I'm a shy one, but I can't even allow myself not to speak up right now. Appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope, oh, yeah, I'm glad it was helpful. I hope it was helpful. It's beneficial, informative. Steps to success. Yeah, steps to success, you might, I think your problem is the targeting, targeting the right people. Talk to private school kids. Talk to private school kids. Otherwise, you're gonna have to push down your price point because people probably can't afford it. That's why you're not closing. And price is a thing you got to work on people if it's worth it. You don't want to price down cheap offer. Great stream, bro. Definitely enjoying it. FYI, there's a 12 to 15-second delay between chat and when you see. Ah, thank you, Javon. Javon actually has experience with live streaming. He's a friend of mine. So thank you, Javon, for letting me know that because I had no clue. I had no clue. So I appreciate that. But yeah, music is another thing of things being divine and right on time. Music is what taught me about frequency, guys. Like I have a deep understanding of frequency because I was a sound engineer, right? I have a deep understanding of how frequency works to the maximum, you know. I know what it looks like. I know how it moves. I know how it maneuvers. I know how it gets canceled out. I know tons of things about frequency because I was a sound engineer. And it just shows you the law of causation in the Kabbalion. Everything here, right? But not pushing down prices though, or maybe I'll create packages for the cheap parents. Yeah, don't push down your prices. Find the right people to sell to. Um, the law of causation. Who would have thought? Because me, 10 years ago, I was like, I'm gonna be some poppin' artist. But really, that was just a journey I needed to take to understand certain things about life, to understand things about frequency, to understand things about business, so I could sit here and talk to you about it now. Isn't that interesting? Right? They remove any impactful songs in the past. Something is physically reality at the present moment now would disappear. No, no, it's not a matter of if the songs in the world glow star. It if you made it, you made it. You know, what you have to do if you did something or had an emotionally charged belief on something and you want to stop that or like cancel it out, you just have to deny it. You just have to rebuke it essentially. That's where the like you listen to church people and they talk about rebuking something. It's basically canceling out a belief. It's like, no, I don't believe in that anymore. I rebuke that. No, that's not me. So I had a song that did pretty well. It's called No Budget. And that song was hard. Okay, that song was lit. And and we were all excited about it. We were the whole crew. We're like, yo, this is gonna be wicked and pop off. And we're gonna shoot a video, and we spent 3 grand on the video, and it got a good chunk of streams, and this song was tough, but it was called No Budget, and it was basically about how I was getting all these streams, I was moving up in the music business, etc. in Toronto, and I had no money. And I didn't spend anything, right? Like everyone else was spending, paying for paying to get in the room with playlist curators and paying here, pay. And I was like, I'm winning off the strength of my music. I'm doing this with no budget. So what happened? There's an emotionally charged belief. I was broke for a very long time. I had no budget for anything for a long time. It came to the point where like, yo, we need to shoot good quality music videos. Like, bro, we don't have no budget. We don't have no budget. Yo, we need to pay for this particular promotion PR guy. We don't have no budget. Remember when we made that song? Remember when we made No Budget? Remember how all excited we were? Remember how emotionally charged we were about No Budget? Damn. Well, that's why that happened. So now As much as I like that song and can enjoy it, I'm just like, this is not my life. I deny it. Right? I rebuke it. Um, Danny in the building. What's up, Danny? He has a fantastic channel regarding dating. So, what do you feel was your biggest breakthrough for you spiritually or mentally that unlocked the biggest stride in financial success for you? Learning how to transform my emotions. So, learning how to alchemize my emotions, learning that every emotion is basically a gift that can give me energy. So, if I was angry about something, I could just take it and use it to work, right? Or if I was sad about something, I just take it and use it in business. I could take frustration and go to the gym, right? When I learned to do that, I learned to not wallow. Sorry, I learned to not wallow in my emotions, right? Because what happens with people's emotions when they don't learn to transform them or alchemize them or transmute them, as some people would call, sorry guys, as some people would say, is that they live in your head. So let's say you're sad and you don't do anything about your sadness. It just sticks around in your head and it jumps around and makes you depressed, right? If you have jealousy and you don't do anything about that jealousy, now you just become bitter and jealous and you become a hater. As opposed to you're jealous of something and you don't say to yourself, oh man, they did it. I can do it too. When I see somebody with a Ferrari, right? I'd be like, yeah, I would like a Ferrari. That'd be nice. But I'm not like, yo, I should have that Ferrari. And now I'm angry at myself that I don't have the Ferrari. And now I all these other emotions and all these other problematic things that just drop down. I alchemize that jealousy into inspiration and say, yo, they're human just like me. What did they do? How did they get that Ferrari? Let me talk to them. Let me figure out how to get that. Let me do that. That was probably the most important spiritual breakthrough is emotional alchemy. And then realizing that the universe is divinely rigged in my favor. So whatever happens in my life, I believe that it is for my betterment. So even when bad things happen, I'm just like, well, this is part of the story. This is going to be a good part of the story. Oh, this is where everyone's going to think he's down and out, but he's really going to win because the universe is rigged in my favor. And what do you think is the biggest mental mind block that most people below 10K per month deal with? What do you recommend for them to be able to elevate their income to 5 figures? A lot of it, one is a level of worthiness, so not being able to charge more, like which is a question of worthiness, so charging more. Two, outsourcing. Um, so I was stuck around $4,000 or $5,000 a month until I outsourced some stuff. Once I outsourced things, I jumped to 10K a month, like the next month, because I had my mind back. I had my time back and my mind back to think and look at things and be like, okay, we can make more money here, 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 boom. So relinquishing a little control, it can help you a lot, you know. If Man in the Mirror from Michael Jackson should be wiped out of history, imagine all the things that would start to disappear because all the people that got inspired. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a cup shop and the slogan was one cupcake at a time. And it literally was, yeah, one cupcake at a time. You sold one cupcake at a time. Boom. Right? When you could have sold bundles. Right? So that's what no budget happened to me. The perspective shift on negative events being rigged in your favor is fire. Yeah, it's it changes everything for me, right? For instance, uh, there's a lot of business people I'm talking to lately, particularly this month, and a lot of their revenue is down, right? And I'm like, it's all good, man. It's all good because it just means that this is supposed to occur and you're going to have a sick revenue time at some point and you're going to look back at this situation and be like, man, remember when I couldn't remember when my revenue was down in November 2024? remember how remember how worried I was? Remember how much that affected me emotionally? Shit, man, what a time. What a time. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss like that on stream. Whatever, but what a time. Dang. That's how I look at it. Also, it helps that I've been through a lot of hard things in my life, to be honest with you. So that changes my perspective. So when I was 4, I almost died in the hospital from a flesh-eating virus. So by the age of 4, I learned about the value of life. So that changed my perspective a lot. I'm like, well, nothing, like I could not be here. I'm still here, so it's okay. So that's one of the several crazy things that's occurred in my life. But I tell other people, like, you may not have to have gone through a situation like me or situations like me, but there's been times in your life where you have overcome. You have overcome and you have leveled up, and you need to draw inspiration from those things because it's a reminder that you're capable. Even if you went to apply for a job and you got the job, like, you overcame something, you conquered something. You went there and you presented yourself and someone believed in you. You need to draw power from that shit. Never mind, a different parallel would exist at these conversations. I like your work, man. Much respect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Got more work on the way. More work on the way. I'm actually quite amazed at all the conversation that's happened here. It's actually amazing. It's crazy. So next time I'll probably see if I can connect my iPad and draw some things out, because it helps when I can make little diagrams about like emotional charge and about the spiritual realm and et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm gonna figure out how to do this super chat thing, because I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Javon, man. Maybe he'll tell me how to do it. But if that is that, I think I'm gonna hop off, guys. I appreciate y'all. Check the recent video that I released today. It actually probably answers a good chunk of some of these questions that you have. You and Nero squeeze it, man. What does that mean? Squeeze it, man. I was talking about Nero earlier, and I said, I'm like, I really like what Nero's done, and it actually inspired me to shift the direction of my channel, because I saw how great he was doing, and I was like, but wait, I know about this stuff too. I know about this. Let me talk about this as well. So, and everybody has like different perspectives and information and knowledge to assist people with, So, yeah, so shout out to him. It was actually a big inspiration for me, because I had no clue that so many people were into this type of stuff. I thought it was just like, a little handful of people, but lo and behold, I was incorrect, thankfully. Great stream. Going to start working on what I learned from you guys soon. Thank you, boss. Start working on it now. Don't tell yourself soon. Oh, everyone liked the stream. Siobhan said, everyone liked the stream. Like I said, I don't know how this works. So everyone, if you're in here, go like the stream. Yeah. But yes, I'm not sure how to say your name. Haiti Judazo? Judazoe? Something along those lines. Sorry if I butchered that. Do it now. Start now. Don't start this soon business. Start now, because the version of you who you want to be has started now. Whatever it is, it might be a little thing. It might be, meditating for a little bit. It might be alchemizing an emotion. It might be starting a business. It might be joining the next realm. All right, y'all. Check the recent video if you're interested in getting more one-on-one help with me, more consistent help in these topics and making money in business and manifesting. Join the next realm. Become a member. See if you qualify. I have a book a call process on my website, and I will see y'all next time. I guess I'll run these preferably once a week. The idea that Nero is doing came to me, and I didn't act on it. Months later, I see him pop up for the universal give. The idea to somebody. Oh, I spoke about this. Yes. So you see what Nero's doing, and you see how much is popped off, and you didn't act on it, so someone else did it. And I speak about this in a recent video. I think it was 2 videos ago. So yeah, you have to maneuver. The time between inspiration and execution is essential, super essential. It used to happen in the music business all the time with us. Like my crew, we were like, "Yo, we have this idea for this, and this," and then we wouldn't do it, and then someone else would do it, and we'd be like, "Oh, what the hell," right? you for the knowledge that you and Nero are putting out. You guys are amazing. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. I keep getting to a point where I'm gonna end the stream, but then I see conversations. I got time, man. I got time. It's not even 9 o'clock here yet, so I got time. But I just saw that the chat kind of slowed down, so I didn't know. But yeah, so but yeah, you if you don't act on things, they'll zip out. Especially if you talk about them. Ooh, whew. If you talk about them, okay. So the Bible says, I might be butchering this a little bit, but I think it's in Matthew. It says, lay up for yourself treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not take them. Sorry. It says, don't lay up treasures for yourself on earth where moth take them and rust decay them. Instead, lay up for yourself treasures in heaven where moth do not attack and rust does not take them and thieves do not steal. Something along those lines, right? Basically, what that passage is telling you is what that passage is telling you is your treasures, your ideas, your creativity, etc. Do not just put them out there willy-nilly and tell people them. Now they're in the physical realm, and now moths, which eat clothing, so people can eat away at your idea and tell you, no, that's not you. No, you can't do that. And they've essentially crushed your idea. So now you're like, oh, no, no, I don't want to do that. They've crushed your treasure. I don't want to do that. Or you tell people and they give you positive feedback. And the positive feedback is really what you were looking for the idea. So you want to put the idea into the world because you want to feel gratified or valuable or what, however you want to feel is why you want to put the idea into the world. But they've already gave you that validation. So now you don't do the idea. And now the idea rusts away. Or worse, they steal your idea. And this isn't the people you know necessarily stealing it. You have now put the vibration out there. Other people know it. Now you've created a mass consciousness vector. What does that mean? There's a group of people who know something, and now that shot out of their mind into the world, and then somebody catches that frequency, and then they go do the thing. They're like, oh, wow, I just got this idea. And then they go do the thing, right? So instead, lay up for yourself treasures in heaven where moth do not attack and rust do not decay and thieves do not steal. What does that mean? In heaven, in the mind, in the mental plane where it's protected, where no one can attack it, where it can't get rusted, where it can't get stolen. The only time you should be sharing your ideas with people is when they want you to do well, when they will empower you. Even criticism sometimes is helpful from people if they want you to do well, right? So if they want you to do well. Other than that, keep your ideas in the mental plane where they're protected and then go do them, right? Then go do them. Because what's it say? For where your treasure is, there your heart resides also. In that same passage in the Bible. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. I need to find that passage. Give me 1 second because, hold on. I think it's Matthew 6:19. That's it. Matthew 6:19. Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourself treasures in heaven where moths and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Okay, and different passages say rust instead of vermin. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So what does that mean? This is some serious things you guys are about to learn right now. Okay, if you haven't seen my video on it yet, give me 1 second, guys. So if you haven't seen my video on this yet, your heart. What's going on here? What? Hold on. No. Oh, excellent connection. Okay, this thing was about to tell me that my stream was about to end. What's going on? What's going on here? What's going on here? 1 second, guys. Because I'm about to get y'all some game, but it's like the universe don't want people to hear yet. What do you mean error? Don't be telling me no error, man. Stream status poor. I should have never opened that thing, man. How you mean? Can you guys see me, or is it choppy buffering and nonsense? Oh boy. Connect. Work. I don't know. Can you guys see me? Sorry, y'all. I don't know. Hopefully it fixes back up. It says I'm streaming at 6,000 something. So I don't know. And this is my first time doing it, so I don't know. Anyways, okay, it's cool. All right. As I was about to say, where your treasure is, there your heart is also. Understand this. Your heart has an electromagnetic field that is bigger than the brain. The heart is actually a greater tool for manifestation than the mind. This is why you need your heart to electrically charge your beliefs in the mind to connect to the spiritual plane. Where your heart is, so where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If you start telling everybody your ideas, your heart, your electric charge is in the physical world, but things don't manifest from there. You need to have your electric charge in the mind. You need to have the heart in the mind where things actually manifest. That's why you can't chat too much about what you're going to do. The electromagnetic power of the heart is greater than the electromagnetic power of the mind, but they work together to manifest, right? That's why you got to be careful. So yeah, there's that. Matthew 6:19. Very important passage. I'm a nice man for sure. I am a nice guy most of the time. Keep traveling. Are you from Toronto? I am from Toronto. I'm originally from Toronto. I have Jamaican parents, Jamaican immigrant parents, and I grew up in Toronto. Toronto is home. So, what do you think about saying affirmations repetitively for up to 30 minutes? I did that yesterday and I feel like I almost changed realities, but I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself. No. If you believe it, it works. If you actually believe it and you have emotional conviction in the fact that reading affirmations for 30 minutes a day is going to change your reality, then it will. It's when you have doubt involved in it and doubt creeps in that it doesn't work. If you have emotional conviction in the belief that reading those affirmations for 30 minutes works, then it works. This is why all kind of spiritual stuff, it all works, guys. It all works. People are worried about technique, right? They're worried about techniques. I don't necessarily teach techniques. I teach principles. That's why I use the Kabbalion so often, because the Kabbalion is about universal law. It's about universal principles. So I don't worry about the technique. Some people believe in astrology, for instance, right? So since they have emotional conviction around astrology, they will equate what happens in their life to astrology. It doesn't matter. It's completely fine. If you think that since Pluto is in Aquarius now, that it's going to be beneficial for your life, good. Believe it. Good. If that's what you want to believe, believe it. And that's how and it'll happen, right? And it'll work. Whatever you have emotional conviction in terms of belief on. And people who are super logically minded hear me say this and they're like, yo, you sound delusional. What you have to understand is that your reality is based upon belief. The logical mind is susceptible to belief. Whatever you believe, the logical mind will find evidence to prove it. Okay? That's why I mentioned flat earth versus round earth so much. If you speak to somebody who believes the earth is flat, it doesn't matter any sort of logical evidence you give them that the earth is round, they won't believe it. Their reality is forged on the fact that the earth is flat. And no matter how logically you want to think about it, it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter. You might sit there and fight and complain and, no, they don't understand logic. They don't understand. It doesn't matter. Okay? We have 8 billion people with 8 billion different realities. Whatever you believe is what your reality manifests. So remember that. So yes, read your affirmations for 30 minutes if you believe in it. Please. Please do. How do you transition from working 9 to 5 to creating your own business? I never held a job very long ever. So I had a couple 9 to 5 jobs, but I never held them long. So I worked at the aquarium in Toronto in my early 20s. I got fired in 2 months. Then I went to go work at Chipotle, in the busiest Chipotle in the city, downtown. Basically, in Toronto, we have a place called Dundas Square, and it's basically our version of Times Square. Busiest Chipotle in the city. Worked there for 2 months. But the reason I left Chipotle is because I got a music job. So I went to do a show one time, and there were this group of people that I knew ran a artist development company, right? And they had a studio and stuff like that. So yeah, they had a studio and they had these things. And I knew like who they were, and I knew they were in the crowd. So I'm like, I'm about to kill this show. And they're gonna come talk to me, right? So what happened? Killed the show. And what happened? They came and spoke to me. They said, "Hey, you want to come over to the studio?" I said, "Yeah." Right after the show, hopped over to the studio, right? And I get to the studio, all the equipment's disconnected. So they call the chief engineer, and they're like, "Yo, why is why is the entire studio disconnected? We have somebody here. What the hell's going on?" I don't know what he told them. I'm like, "Don't worry, I can fix it." So I plug all the things I need to plug back in. And they're like, "Yo, shoot, you know what you're doing, holy." So I start playing some of my records, and they're like, "Oh, yo, this sounds great. This sounds good. You want to come to the studio tomorrow?" I'm like, "Sure." So I have my shift at Chipotle. The studio was about an hour walk from Chipotle. And I had burned through my paycheck. I didn't have bus fare. Like I just had bus fare to get to work and home. So I had to walk from Chipotle to that studio in the winter. So it was January, right? So I'm walking to the studio now. And I get there. Chief engineer's there now. So the guy who does all the engineering work and records everyone. But he doesn't know who I am. I guess he assumes I'm a friend of somebody. So I walk in. He's like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" Like, "I'm good. Cool." They have a little speaker set up in basically the living room space, and there's a studio space. So I'm in the living room space on this couch, and there's an aux cord to one of the speakers, to the speaker. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play my music. I'm here or whatever. I'm just going to play my music. Plug in my phone, start playing my music. And he comes out of the studio. And I'm like, oh shit, am I going to be in trouble? Like, was I interfering with his session? He goes, "Yo, who did this? Who mixed this?" I said, "I did." I said, okay. "You want a job?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, come tomorrow. Come at 6 p.m. tomorrow." Yeah, okay. Once again, work my little shift at Chipotle. Oh, what was that? Chicken, rice. Okay, chicken burrito. Okay. Would you like fajitas? Okay. Would you like what is it? Cilantro, whatever. Blah blah blah. Right? Work my Chipotle job. Bang. Chipotle finishes at 5. I run to the studio now because I don't want to be late. So he engineers there. He says, "Okay, run this session." Yeah, okay. I run the session. I record the guy. It sounds great. They leave, right? And The engineer comes up to me. He's like, he gave me $80. It was a 4 hour session. No, it was a 3 hour session. He gave me $80. At the time at Chipotle, I was making $12 an hour. He just gave me more than $20 an hour. So I'm like, oh shit. He's like, yeah. And then he didn't say anything to me. So we're just chilling, and I'm about to leave now. And he says, oh, you're hired. Come tomorrow. Come tomorrow at 4. All I did, get home, get on my laptop, Chipotle. I unfortunately can no longer work here. This is my letter of resignation, effective immediately. Bang, gone. Okay, and then I started working as a freelancer at that studio for a good chunk of years. And then that opened up other opportunities, other studio opportunities. So I worked as a freelancer for a good chunk of my life. I was freelancing for like 10 years, right? So I never really held a 9 to 5 job all that long. 2 months maximum was my 9 to 5 story. So I say that to say, though, I say it to say, if you do have a 9 to 5, you treat it as a stepping stone. Remember, the universe is divinely rigged in your favor. When I was at Chipotle, I'm like, this is only temporary. I will not be here forever. When I was at the aquarium, I will not be here forever. Remember this, you will not be here forever. You will not be at that job forever. Take your emotional conviction, take your emotional belief, and project it to what it is you want out of life. You have things to offer. If you want to make a business, you can do it, right? You actually have more time than you know. You have more time than you know, because when I worked at Chipotle, I still made music, still made time to make music, still put stuff out, right? When I was working at the aquarium, as much as it ate up my time, still did it. I was dedicated, right? But yeah, that's my story of work. Never worked out too well for me, but I have an entrepreneurial spirit, you know. At the age of 17, I was selling my mixtape on the road, on the street. I was 17 years old. I don't know where I got $100 from, but basically there was this guy in the city. His name was Freddie Fame. Shout out to Freddie Fame. There's this guy in the city named Freddie Fame, and I had made a mixtape at 17 years old. I recorded myself in my bedroom. And I said, Freddie Fame used to print CDs. He said, yo, you get 100 CDs for $100. So I said, okay. And he put them in pamphlets and all that stuff. He made it look nice. So I paid him my $100. But the thing with Freddie Fame is that he didn't work all that quickly. So I paid my $100 to Freddie Fame, and I said, listen, Freddie, I need these tomorrow because I got a show the next day. He's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll have it for you. I'll have it for you. Then I go, the day of my show pops up now. I'm like, Freddie, I need these mixtapes. I gotta sell these mixtapes, right? He's like, don't worry, man. I'm pulling up to the venue. Life is crazy. Like I said, divine and right on time, because there's no way I wasn't gonna get the CDs, right? Divine and right on time. So Freddie Fame driving up with one of his homies, and Freddie Fame's packing CDs in the back of the car, right? And he right before the show, he's like, yo, I got you 50 CDs here. I'm packaging the rest of my car. I got you 50 CDs. I said, okay, thank you, Freddie. I put them in my bag, did the show. The show was at the Opera House. There's a big venue in Toronto. So I would have sold things. And I see these questions. I see the question on spiritual attacks and etc. I'm going to get to it. So Freddie, so I get these CDs, do the show, kill it. Boom. I start selling mixtapes hand to hand, $10 each. Right. And that's how I had my first business. I turned that $100 into $1,000 because I sold each mixtape for $10. Then I started learning about value. Value is very amazing thing. Value is an emotion. A lot of people look at value like return on investment. Oh, someone spent $10 and they got $100 out of it. Value is an emotion. So what I used to do is I would perform at these shows, kill it. And I try and sell my mixtape, and I tell people, pay what you think it's worth. So instead of $10, Some people pay me $10. Some people pay me $20. Someone pay me $50. Someone pay me $200. Hmm. Interesting. That paid for my entire CD bundle. That paid for buying all my CDs. One person. And I made a profit. Why is that? Because of how I emotionally affected them. They said, I'm buying this for $200. I want to hear more of this. So that was my first business. So I always had entrepreneurial spirit. Um, and I can help you cultivate that as well, based upon your values. That's why I teach the value tool. It's free. Guys like to stream, please. Apparently that's important. My friend Javon told me. So, oh, the audio's glitching. Oh no. Is it still glitching? Give me a moment. Oh, we're back. Okay. Is the audio better? Sorry, guys. Okay. So what's your thoughts on spiritual attacks? I feel like I am in constant battle. I keep winning, but it feels so real. The reason you have spiritual attacks is because you believe people can spiritually attack you. That's why. You believe people can spiritually attack you. Now, people can influence your frequency if you don't know how to defend yourself and rebuke that stuff and cancel it away and deny it. But if you believe people can attack you, then they can attack you. You need to believe that you're so powerful and so strong and your frequency is so, just your aura and your frequency are so powerful that you can't be attacked. You understand? It's because you believe in it that it happens. Look at the cultures that believe in spiritual attacks, right? And oftentimes black people, right? We believe that people are attacking us and fighting us all the time, etc. So what happens? It happens, and you blame it upon spiritual attacks because you believe it can happen to you. Can't nobody curse you, can't nobody attack you, can't nobody mash you up. I don't care how many cauldrons they want to burn or whatever they want to do, they can't harm you. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. As it says in the Bible, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. While you are in your God energy, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. No one can fight you. No one can curse you. No one can attack you if you believe they can't. That's simple. Hard for me to stay over 3 months. My last one was Chipotle. Now I'm at FedEx. Dog. I'm interested to see how your story unfolds, Glorilla. I absolutely love this channel. Informative, relaxing, great way to end Sunday night. Hopefully you will do lives on Sundays. Yes, I actually may continue to do lives on Sundays because what happens is Sundays at 5 p.m. I talk to members of the Next Realm. I present them something, help everybody make some more money, teach some principles, stuff like that. And then I think afterwards I'm going to just go live on YouTube because my live setup's already set up for it. So maybe every Sunday. I don't know if I want to say that for guarantee. Okay. It might be every other Sunday, but check for me on Sundays. It would makes the most sense for me to do. But yeah. Belief is super important. I talk about this in my generational curses video. If you believe you're generationally cursed, then you're generationally cursed. It takes the same amount of energy to believe you're generationally cursed as it does to believe you're generationally blessed. You know what I'm saying? So for instance, I could and this is another thing once again, this whole curses and spiritual attacks thing, it's very prominent amongst black people. So and why is this? Because it it really originates from slavery. So what had happened was, imagine now you get taken from where you are, right? Um, and you're a slave, and your beliefs start getting influenced. Okay, so your beliefs start getting influenced, and you start being told that you are descendants of Cain or you're descendants of Ham who were cursed in the Bible. So now they use religion to try to influence you, right? And tell you the descendants of Cain and Cain's generations would be cursed. And then they try to tell you that the mark that God gave Cain was black skin, which is not is not a thing, right? And then the curse of Ham, where his descendants shall be servants of servants and stuff like that. And they tell you this and they use the Bible to influence you, okay, as a slave. And you start believing it because how do you believe things? There's two ways you believe things. You believe things through authority and evidence. So if you look at the evidence around you, which is the physical realm, which is an illusion, that's a different thing. But the physical realm around you, you look at the evidence of your life, you're like, oh, shoot, I'm in slavery. And then who's your authority figure when you're a slave? The slave master. And they're telling you that you're cursed and they're telling you that this is what you deserve and blah, blah, blah. And they're using religion to do it to you. This is still permeates throughout, you know, particular, especially with black people. It still permeates throughout the community religiously. So you sit there now and you go, damn, maybe I am cursed. Maybe I am a descendant of these things. And it passes down in your generations of you saying this to people. I dated a girl one time. She said that her family had a curse. I said, you need to let me know about this. She said, no, you don't have to worry about it. I dated that girl for way longer than I should have. And guess what? Since they believed it, it was true. Their family was highly dysfunctional. Okay? They had a lot of problems. So she's a good girl though. But they had a lot of problems, right? So what do you do to counteract this? After you've had generations tell you that you're cursed and you've had religion tell you things and you believe in the authority of religion because your parents told you to believe in it and they're your first authority figure and you believe through authority. You believe through authority more than you do through evidence because your parents are your first authority figures in your life. So if they tell you Santa is real, you believe it. If they tell you to donate 10% to the church or you're going to hell, you'll believe it, even though they have no evidence for it to be real. So you go on and your generations told you were cursed and you're less than this and that and this, and you go on and believe it when you can easily say, I'm not cursed. I'm blessed. I'm generationally blessed. I'm so generationally blessed that everything my ancestors went through brought me here right now to listen to Seth say this and let me know that I'm not cursed. And you have literally just broke the curse because you don't believe it anymore. A lot of people, you guys need to watch my video about this, okay, about this generational curses thing, because it's very devious, malicious thing used to entrap you. Because what's a curse? A curse is a solemn utterance to invoke supernatural power to cause harm or punishment. So what does that mean? What's a solemn utterance? Solemn, what does solemn mean? Solemn means sincere, right? Truthful. Conviction. That's what solemn means. So, solemn, you take this solemn utterance now, which is basically words. It's a solemn utterance. What's an utterance? Words. So now you have sincere words that are invoking supernatural power. What does this mean? A lot of people think supernatural power is people setting up some cauldron and setting up all kind of things and having smoke and mirrors and all kind of thing in this theatrical thing. All supernatural power is from the mental and the physical realm. The mental and the spiritual realm. So how do you access the spiritual realm? Through your emotions, like I said before. Emotional charge, that's how you access the spiritual realm. So if somebody casts a solemn utterance invoking supernatural power, emotional power to punish you, bang, they've cursed you. There's people, they have launched a curse at you. There's people in your life day to day who have already cursed you. Your parents told you something bad and you believed it. You tell things to yourself. You curse yourself. You have solemn utterances charged with supernatural power that you say to yourself, that you say you're not worthy, or you say you're broke, or you say you're low vibration, or you say you're not abundant. You say all these things. These are curses, and you have emotional conviction in them. You have generated supernatural power to curse yourself. You don't need to worry about nobody else cursing you. You need to worry about yourself. Nobody else can curse you. So all you need to understand is to no longer believe in this, no longer take your emotional power to say bad things about yourself. And you'll stop cursing yourself. And then simply believe that no one else can curse you. Just rebuke it, dismiss it. I don't believe that. You have broken every single curse ever in your life, ever. Gone. Thank me later. You got it for free. You got it for free. Right? So, the programming is real and deeply rooted in a black religious culture. You are touching on something. It's true, man. It's true. Because you really only hear it within the black community, right? This generational curse idea. Don't believe that. Imagine you go through the world thinking you're cursed. You put yourself at a disadvantage. Just say you're blessed. Because you are. Your ancestors did everything necessary for you to be here. You have an opportunity. You're blessed. A lot of people don't have opportunities. Bang. You're experiencing your own consciousness. Yes. Yes, you are. Damn, I've been here for 2 hours. This is crazy. I've been streaming for two. Yo, honestly, I thought it was gonna be like half an hour. My wife is probably like, why is he still on the computer? Yo, this has been going on for 2 hours. This is insane. Wow. Like the stream, guys. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure y'all like the stream. Okay. Well, guys, I haven't seen the chat drop nothing yet. I think that's it for me, y'all. I logged on the perfect time. I'm blessed and unstoppable. Yes, you are. You did log in on the perfect time. The universe is divine and right on time for you. Thanks for being on, bro. Yeah, so I might do this every Sunday. I might do it every other Sunday. But I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna go have some tea and chill. I appreciate y'all. Uh, I guess check for the video I just released today. You should go on tour and host events. You're looking into the future, my friend. You're looking into the future. You're a psychic. Are you a psychic? You must be psychic. You must be a legendary psychic because you just know what my future is going to be. I'm going to go on tour and host events. Oh, wow. Shoot. Absolutely true. You are a psychic. You know exactly what your life is going to be because you predicted mine incredibly well. All right, y'all. Later days. I guess I pressed this end stream button, I guess. Oh, wait. Like the stream. Watch my recent video, please, about the AAA manifestation method. And if you want more, what message? What message offend me? Ain't nothing offend me, man. I'm fine. I've been through way worse things than some message. But yes, recent video, like the stream, join the next realm if you want help building an education business, selling knowledge that you already have in your mind and making money from the mental plane, which is how you get rich. So I will see y'all maybe next week. See how it goes. End stream, I guess that's the button. Later days, y'all. I really appreciate you guys for hopping on. Peace.